You were
goodness.
teaching Justin how to pull you in.
Where have you
love
seen
that.
this?
I don't think people realize how involved she was in this movie. And she's a producer on the film from the beginning to the end. She was extremely involved, and she really made the film better.
After much anticipation, It Ends With Us has finally hit theaters.
Are you ready for the wildest meltdown Hollywood has seen in years? Because Blake Lively is reportedly spiraling out of control, and fans across the globe are watching her fall from grace at record speed. Once considered the darling of the A-list, Blake has now, according to online buzz, become a total Hollywood pariah. From jaw-dropping social media drops to tense behind-the-scenes scandals, it appears that everyone is turning their backs on her. But how exactly did we get here? And what does Justin Baldoni have to do with all this chaos? Let's break down the latest drama and see why she's been labeled a monster by so many. Let's start with the backlash that's lighting up every corner of the internet. Allegedly, fans are boycotting Blake in droves, and her social media numbers seem to be nosediving. Some figures suggest she's lost hundreds of thousands of followers just in the last few months. People are unsubscribing, unfollowing, and distancing themselves fast. As if that's not enough, her husband Ryan Reynolds is reportedly feeling the heat too, seeing a similar dip in public support. It's a brutal double whammy for a power couple who once reigned supreme on social media. So, what triggered this dramatic shift? It all boils down to a war of reputations, and at the center of it is Justin Baldoni, the very man Blake allegedly tried to bury in the court of public opinion. Once upon a time, she seemed unstoppable. But a magazine cover changed everything. On February 22nd, The Hollywood Reporter published a cover illustration of Blake aiming a slingshot at Baldoni. It might look playful at first glance, but the symbolism cut deep for those in the know. The narrative is that she tried to ruin him, only to have it backfire spectacularly. Instead of wrecking Baldoni's image, she ignited a cultural explosion online. And suddenly all eyes were on her alleged manipulative tactics. Fans are calling her out for trying to sabotage a man who apparently did nothing but stand up for himself. According to the rumor mill, she filed accusations that made Baldoni sound like a predator, but then Baldoni fired back with receipts, hard evidence that poked holes in her story. Once those details leaked, people realized something else was going on, and the tides turned. Almost overnight, her once adoring fans started seeing red flags, and the media storm began. But the real fuel on this fire is the constant mention of Blake's supposed control freak nature on the set of It Ends With Us. She wasn't just an actress, she was also an executive producer. Did she take that title too far? Some insiders claim she hijacked the script, demanded changes, and basically assumed the role of director. Others say she was calling the shots on everything from costume design to final edits, leaving the actual director sidelined. Word spread that she was borderline impossible to work with, and people in the industry became afraid to speak against her for fear of losing future opportunities. The biggest sting in this story might be how she allegedly used Me Too-style accusations to paint Baldoni as a creep. There's talk that she twisted cultural misunderstandings related to Baldoni's Baha'i.
Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are all smiles amid their ongoing legal battle. On Sunday night, the couple attended the SNL 50, the anniversary special in New York City, posing for photos on the red carpet.
Faith, portraying him as having sinister intentions when, in reality, he was just acting according to personal beliefs or harmless habits. Once Baldoni's team produced evidence contradicting her claims, the entire narrative flipped. Suddenly, it looked like Blake was the one orchestrating a smear campaign, and the public wasn't having it. Let's talk numbers. According to the online chatter, Blake's follower count has plunged by the hundreds of thousands. Meanwhile, Baldoni's following has soared. It's as if the public made a quick judgment call, deciding who the real villain and victim were in this scenario. Even worse for Blake, those stats have continued to drop month after month. Every new development, every new rumor, quote, or interview seems to cost her even more support. That's a huge blow to an actress who once brandished her squeaky clean, girl-next-door image. Not only are the fans outraged, but Hollywood itself seems to be collectively backing away. According to these discussions, major players in the industry see her as a massive liability. The stories of her meddling have grown too loud, and nobody wants to hire someone who might take over an entire set. Casting directors and producers could be wondering if signing Blake Lively means opening themselves up to endless drama and negative press. For someone who used to be a red carpet favorite, this shift in sentiment must be devastating. Ryan Reynolds, known for his comedic wit and smooth PR skills, tried to play it off with a joke on an SNL anniversary special. Reportedly, when asked how he was doing, he quipped something like, "Great, why? What have you heard?" But this didn't land well with everyone. Instead of deflecting the situation, people thought he was trivializing serious accusations. The internet lit up with criticism that his jokes seemed tone-deaf, considering the swirl of harassment allegations and lawsuits going on. Speaking of lawsuits, there's this ongoing legal battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Baldoni has unleashed a high-powered litigator who is methodically pulling apart her claims. Rumor has it that Blake's side withheld or edited text messages to strengthen her case, but Baldoni kept full records. If that's true, it's a major miscalculation on Blake's end. Once that kind of detail hits the public, it's a one-way ticket to losing credibility, and it's fueling the Blake Lively is a liar storyline that's sweeping across the internet. In celebrity culture, reputation is everything. Comparisons to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard have even started circulating, with people calling Blake the next Amber, another high-profile figure who tried to control the narrative but lost the support of the online community. The difference here is that public sentiment never really tipped in Blake's favor. If these accounts are correct, people quickly sided with Baldoni, particularly once certain receipts went public. Another twist is how a few big Hollywood names were initially supportive of Blake, but then backed off as soon as the story got complicated. Rumors suggest some of her celebrity friends wanted to show her solidarity, but have since gone silent to avoid the blowback. Even Taylor Swift, known for standing by her close circle, hasn't publicly addressed the fiasco. That in itself speaks volumes to fans who follow their every move. While Blake is supposedly...
Brandon Sklenner has entered the chat. The It Ends With Us star is breaking his silence about what he calls the stuff swirling online about the Colleen Hoover-inspired film in a social media post. Amid speculation, there's behind-the-scenes drama between Blake Lively and director Justin Baldoni. He says on Instagram,
in full meltdown mode, Justin Baldoni has been spotted living his best life. Imagine him surfing in Hawaii while his legal team dismantles every accusation piece by piece. He's not fueling the drama with frantic interviews or social media rants. He's letting the facts speak for themselves, allowing the public to come to its own conclusions. And those conclusions seem to be turning him into a breakout star of this entire scandal. What makes this even more intriguing is that a man who was nearly erased from his own production is now emerging as a kind of hero. The rumor is that Blake and Ryan tried to push Baldoni out of the marketing for It Ends With Us, keeping him off press junkets and promotions. But all that effort to shut him down backfired the moment he took a stand and decided to defend himself publicly. Most ironically, the catapult image on the Hollywood Reporter cover is exactly what fans needed to see to confirm their suspicions, or so they say online. The cover story's portrayal of Blake as the aggressor laid bare that she might not be the innocent victim she painted herself to be. She allegedly went into overdrive, screaming sexism and calling the cover unfair. But the internet wasn't buying it. They saw it as an accurate reflection of how she tried to destroy Baldoni's image. Even inside sources talk about how Blake believed she had the power to shape the entire storyline of the film, from changing scripts to overshadowing the director. Crew members, who apparently felt powerless, are now quietly speaking up, saying they endured her rants and unstoppable meddling, fearful they'd be blacklisted if they dared to object. That's a scary environment to work in, and it's not something Hollywood wants to condone, particularly after years of pledging better conditions for cast and crew. Once these details leaked, the gossip community ran wild. YouTube bloggers, Twitter threads, and celebrity tea channels have been dissecting every twist, racking up millions of views. The narrative has become that Blake Lively is the ultimate manipulator, exploiting feminist buzzwords to gain sympathy while being the real bully all along. The phrase Blake Lively meltdown is trending in gossip circles, leaving her PR team scrambling to spin the story. But is it too late for damage control? According to many observers, absolutely. The reason is simple: public trust has been broken. Once fans believe you lied or exaggerated enough a Me Too scenario for personal gain, it's near impossible to bounce back. People take these accusations extremely seriously, and if they feel tricked, the backlash can be merciless. Meanwhile, Baldoni continues to rack up support. Industry professionals see him as calm, composed, and most importantly, vindicated. He didn't have to wage a public smear campaign against Blake. He didn't have to manipulate the media. He just let her moves boomerang back on her. Now producers are more open to working with him, seeing someone who overcame a massive scandal.
There's always friction that happens when you make a movie like this.
This ends with me. I'm done. I'm tired. Less than 12 hours after Justin filed, Blake's legal team doubled down, calling the bombshell $400 million lawsuit another chapter in the abuser playbook. The strategy.
Blake, on the other hand, is reportedly losing future gigs at breakneck speed. It's not just about the followers or the immediate projects. This could tarnish Blake's career for years. She was once the ultimate blend of fashion icon, comedic wit, and red carpet royalty. If Hollywood labels her as too high maintenance and manipulative, she might find it difficult to land major roles, no matter how talented she is. Nobody wants a star who overrides directorial decisions and waves lawsuits around. And where does this leave Ryan Reynolds? He's been praised for his marketing genius and comedic timing, but he can't PR his way out of this. Defending Blake risks damaging his own brand. People are already criticizing him for joking about the lawsuit. That leaves him in an awkward position. Does he publicly stand by his wife, or does he step aside for the sake of his own career? So far, it seems he's trying to support Blake. But how long can that last if her public persona continues to deteriorate? As for Hollywood, the system is ruthless. The second you become more trouble than you're worth, the gatekeepers will close ranks to protect themselves. Blake's meltdown is already overshadowing any positive press she ever garnered. Studios don't want to invest millions in a film only to watch it overshadowed by scandal. They've seen it happen before, and they won't risk it if they don't have to. So, what's next? For Blake Lively, it looks like a long road of damage control and possible legal headaches. For Justin Baldoni, it's a path of vindication and career opportunities. The public, and especially fans, seem to have made up their minds. They watched the scandal unfold, examined the evidence, and decided whose side they believe. And the verdict right now is not looking good for Blake. The most shocking part of this entire saga might be how fast it all happened. Just a short while ago, Blake was a fixture on every best-dressed list, beloved for her wittiness with Ryan on social media. Today, those same platforms are turning on her. The conversation has shifted from praising her style and comedic timing to slamming her alleged manipulative strategies. It's a dramatic pivot that underscores how fickle the court of public opinion can be. Whether any of these bridges can be repaired remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: Hollywood and its fans have their eyes wide open. Blake Lively's moves will be scrutinized like never before, and every new development in her feud with Justin Baldoni will be magnified. She might pull off a comeback if she can produce actual evidence to defend her actions. But at this point, it seems like an uphill battle against an avalanche of bad press. This story is far from over. As legal proceedings continue and more industry insiders speak out, there may be more twists to come. But for now, the damage to Blake Lively's once flawless image is undeniable, and the winner in this public relations war appears to be Justin Baldoni, the man she allegedly tried to destroy. Let's see if she can rebound from this, or if it truly marks the end of her reign as one of Hollywood's most adored actresses. Stay tuned, because there's no doubt this drama is only going to get more intense.